Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Welcome to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today. It's Chris Williams, licensed marriage and family therapist. I have one of our resident psychologists on hand, Dr. Jill Hubbard.
Hi, Chris.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And another marriage and family therapist, JJ West. JJ, how's it going today, man?
Hey, Chris. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I got a question for you, JJ.
Yes, sir.
What is on your mind today? Share some wisdom.
Well, one of the things that I did this weekend was go to my nephew's wedding. And I always love going to weddings, especially when it's family weddings, right? It's beautiful and you're excited for the young couple. And as the young people would say, per the usual, they used the Corinthians 13, 1 Corinthians 13 love passage. Of course, everybody does at every wedding. And you know what's interesting about that passage is that it's absolutely impossible to keep.
Yes.
Like when you read through that list, when you listen to what it actually says love looks like, it never qualifies it like most of the time or some of the time or on the best days or when you're in a good mood. No, it says that love is always kind, right? Love always protects. Love never keeps a record of wrongs, right? And the main thrust of that passage and of Scripture is that you can't do it on your own.
That's really good. Yeah.
Right? So this young couple is, as much as they're in love, right? As much as they're excited about starting their life together, if they try to do it on their own strength, it's going to fail and it's going to be painful and it's going to be sad. But if instead they recognize, wow, there's no way for me to do this on my own. God, I need your help.
That's really good.
And I need the help of others so that I can be patient and kind and forgiving. Then I can actually have a marriage that looks like Christ's relationship with his church. Then I can have a marriage that actually is mutually edifying and uplifting.
That's really good. I find that the importance of passages like this is they provide us really important mirrors. Because every day I wake up with the opportunity for a ton of jealousy and envy. I can be very rude and dismissive. I can be easily angered. I could be. I am I can be. Like let's be honest. Yeah. I am.
Right.
All of these
right. I was going to say, wow, you're doing well, Chris, because I'm always
just might be these things.
It's a possibility. I'm self-seeking.
It could happen.
I am a very self-seeking person.
Yeah.
And so these mirrors help us understand what is the toxins in the soil of our heart and soul that need to be extracted, things like that block the flow of love, and what are the nutrients that open up the flow of love.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I never knew how selfish I was or impatient I was until I got married, right? Because it shows you yourself. You're like, oh, that's me. Oh, okay.
We're all reduced to our most primitive selves in our most intimate relationships, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Well, isn't that the great paradox of marriage or closeness? We all crave and need intimacy,
right?
And yet intimacy, if it's doing its job, exposes.
Yep.
Yes.
And what's exposed is not always pretty.
No.
Or in my case, is rarely.
Right.
So yeah, I want to encourage everyone, go back, check that out, and revisit 1 Corinthians 13 today, and just take this kind and honest evaluation in the mirror of like, what's love inside of you, what is unlove inside of you. Hey, listen, we're going to come back right after this. We are going to take your calls, and I have some really, really exciting news to share with you about New Life and an upcoming opportunity. We'll be back right after this.
I had been in porn addiction. My past had not been found out at all. Yet I had hit a point in my life where it was time.
Men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The Everyman's Battle Intensive can help.
I never divulged what I'd been doing.
Find help today at New Life's Everyman's Battle Intensive.
This is a place that changed my life in such a positive way for Christ, because I could be the Christian man that I'm called to be.
Now the intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, December 6th through the 8th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I cannot say enough what it does in the Christian community for not just men, for their children, for their wives.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today. And we are going to go right to the phones. We're going to go to Diane in Houston, Texas, listening to us on Sirius XM. Diane, tell us, what's going on in your life today?
Well, so I am in a well, thank you for taking my call, first of all. I listen to you guys as regularly as I can on Sirius XM.
Well, thank you, and thank you for calling in.
Sure. So just to jump right in, I'm in a fairly serious relationship. We're both in our 50s. He's never been married, and I'm a widow. He's been pretty much estranged from his family for the better part of his life, and has done a lot of work to be emotionally, healthy. And he loves the Lord, and we both are serious in our faith walk, and everything's been going great. He moved to Houston to be near his father, who is married but not to his mom. They got married when he was in his late 20s, I believe. So he's never really had a relationship with not a close relationship with his father, and certainly not his stepmom. But he moved to Houston 3 years or so ago, just mindful that, the clock's ticking and family is important. And so he was gravitating, wanting to try to build a relationship with them. Meanwhile, we met at church and things have been going great. And she let us know right in the beginning of our dating period that it was great with her as long as it didn't infringe on her time with him.
Who's she?
Whose time with who?
His stepmother.
As long as
that he just met 3 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
That she was okay with your relationship with him as long as it didn't infringe on her time with her stepson?
That's correct.
That she just met at the same time you guys started dating?
Yes, like they were hanging out. He was hanging out with his dad and his mom for 3 years. Well, for a year and a half or so before we met.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but Diane, let me jump in here and say, okay, so stepmom is saying that her time with her stepson, who they have a fairly new relationship with, is more important than your relationship with him.
That's definitely what we're hearing.
Okay, so let me jump in. What's the question for us today? How can we help you?
The question is, holidays are looming. We're talking, serious long-term commitment, marriage. I mean, so the question is, how do I navigate this? I've tried to support him in the realm of, hey, I think your responsibility biblically is to honor your father. But
okay. So Diane, I actually have a different question, and it's a question for you.
Okay.
What does it mean to be married to or to be in a close relationship with Diane?
With myself?
with your
What would
with
it be
your
like
boyfriend?
for someone else
Yeah.
to be in relationship with you?
Because what I hear is that you're navigating all of this around somebody else's wishes. But what's being denied here is what it means to be in a relationship with you. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. Or Jill, help me out here.
Well, like, what are you asking of boyfriend in terms of your relationship? Because certainly stepmom, who he's not known that long, has certain requests. And I don't know if she's saying, you know, it's so good to finally have a connection. I'm scared and I don't want to lose it. Like, I don't know where her heart is at. On the one hand, it sounds rather controlling, but it may just be that this reunion has been so long in coming. In terms of all the issues around the estrangement. But for you, like, what are you needing from boyfriend? Because he's in his 50s and now his stepmom is like kind of wanting to be the top female.
Yeah. So, I mean, all indications, like, this all came back up to a head, like, you know, with the holidays coming, we know he won't be able to see them at Thanksgiving. So she has already let him know, like, hey, I expect you to come for Christmas. And he told her yesterday, you know, well, I'll be with Diane, you know, I'll come over for a little while, but I'm not spending the whole day there because I want to spend time with Diane.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's kind of put everybody on notice, myself included, that, you know, he doesn't care what, you know, about her feelings.
So Diane, there's something going on inside of you. What are you afraid of? Well, like, what's your anxiety here?
That you called us about.
Yeah.
I'm just sad. Like, you know, my idea of, you know, I would hope, I mean, we're all adults. We live just 30 minutes from them. Like, I would love to just go over there and we cook together and, you know, the two couples hang out or whatever. But I feel like, you know, she's looking to my boyfriend to meet needs that she's not having met or something. But I appreciate, Jill, what you said about maybe it's just the excitement of, you know, a restored relationship from all these years. But she herself will admit that she's controlling.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay. That's helpful.
That is helpful.
Yeah, because, I mean, Diane, when you first started telling the story, I mean, you heard all of our reaction, right? Like, okay, it's an odd thing. Now, we don't know tone of voice. We don't know if it was said with a little wink. We don't know if, you know, if she's trying to communicate, hey, I'm really enjoying, you know, building this new relationship with my stepson, and I'm so glad that he's involved in his father, my husband's life. That's good, and I'm excited about that. Or if it's, I feel threatened by any other person taking time away, and so I'm going to control how much time and energy is invested in any relationship other than my stepson's relationship with me and his father, right? Like, that part we all reacted to, like, whoa, that's weird to say. I'm good with this new dating relationship as long as it doesn't take away, you know, anything from my relationship with you. Like, that's a weird way to communicate. If it's simply, I'm really excited about this new, my new relationship with your boyfriend, her stepson, right? So that's the part that we're all reacting to, is like, that sounds really controlling. Hopefully she's seeing that, and then you can have that adult conversation that says, look, we really enjoy spending time with you guys. We only live 30 minutes apart. We could coordinate things where we all get together and have fun, but also recognize that we have our own relationship that we're working on that's still new, and we've got other extended family as well, and so we have to be in control of how we spend
Okay, but it also sounds like you're trying to explain to this woman to let you off the hook. And I think she maybe is just a very outspoken. I don't know if she has children of her own. I'd be curious about their reactions to her, or if this is her chance to have a 50-year-old child. But here's the thing. She can say whatever she wants. She can put her needs out there, and you can say yes or no. And that's important to remember. Your boyfriend is in his 50s, and so are you, Diane. So you guys can say, well, hey, thank you for the invitation. This is what we can do. We'd both love to come at this time. How does that work for you? Or, hey, let's come over to our house and we're going to cook dinner together. What do you think about that? So you guys get to say what you're going to do or not going to do. You don't necessarily have to go into these long explanations to her about why she needs to let you be your own person. You just be your own person.
It reminds me, Jill. It reminds me of when I was in college. So I grew up in a home where my parents ran this massive Christmas project for needy children. All the way into my adulthood, they continue to do so. And so my first year coming home from college, I was talking with one of my sisters, and it's an all hands on deck thing, right? And so it was in the evening, and I was getting ready to leave to go visit some friends. And my sister was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to go hang out with, so and so and so and so." She's like, "What are you talking about? You can't leave. We're doing the Christmas project." And I said, "Well, I'm leaving. You can stay, but I'm leaving." And she was just crestfallen, like, "You can't say no.
Right.
This is the expectation. We all do this." And I said, "Well, I understand it's what you're choosing to do, but I'm choosing to do something different." And that, Diane, that's what we're saying to you, is that you and your boyfriend can express no. You're not doing anything wrong by having a different agenda than your boyfriend's stepmom.
Well, and with the fact that your boyfriend has been estranged, what are the issues around that? And I'm not asking you right now, but he has to look at that. Where is the pull? Because that's where maybe some of this is coming from.
This is where I'm going, because I'm
absolutely because he's only been in a relationship like 3 years. It's like
I'm like the guy's in his 50s. He's never been married. And now he has women trying to determine his life. Yeah. And then you said it well, Diane. He put everyone on notice.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man. I've done it really well to this point in time. I will continue to do it well. You either get on board with me or get out of the way. Now, I get
dressed all by myself. I get out the door all by myself. I get to work all by myself. It's crazy.
But underlying all of this is the real dangerous traps of expectations that are tied to desires. And it sounds like his stepmom is very aggressive in that.
She knows her desires.
Yes.
She puts them out there.
And Diane, it sounds like you're really passive in that. And neither one of those things work. When it comes to our expectations and our desires, the hard work is to have conversations about them, is to bring them out into the open and work through them. And that's the difficulty of relationship and even in marriage. But you're right about something.
Express them as desires, not demands.
Exactly.
And we also don't want to deny our desires because it's going to be too much for someone.
Absolutely. And it's so funny that comes up during the holiday season, because let me tell you a therapist hack. When I'm trying to figure out how family dynamics work, I ask couples or individuals or families, what do your holidays look like? Because, man,
totally
it provides us such great fodder for the dynamics that come up in the relationships. And so, Dan, that's where I come back to kind of what Jill was leaning into, is that you have desires here. And what Jill and JJ were saying, you have the opportunity and even the responsibility to say yes or to say no. I'm on board or I'm not on board. And then to work
or here's what I'm willing to do.
Yes, and to work that out in the context of relationship, knowing that good relationships have compromise. Does that make sense?
Well, Yeah, and I hear the music. The notion is that I'm not welcome at their house, and I have no relationship with her.
Okay.
And so they've invited him for the holiday, but
They've not included you.
Is really not including me, right?
Yeah, and that is really painful, and I think that these are really, really important conversations, and you're probably figuring out why he's been estranged from his family. Mm-hmm. Not all family is healthy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And boyfriend needs to speak up.
part.
So yeah, we are heading to a break, but Diane, I want to do two things. I want you to get into couples counseling with your boyfriend, and I want you to read Take Your Life Back, because it'll help you clarify some things here. And we're going to be back right after this.
When you give to the New Life Scholarship Fund, you're giving someone hope for a brighter future.
I was kind of in the closet and hid with my struggle. Your donation really made the difference, especially in my situation, because I ended up getting laid off from my job.
At the New Life Intensives, hurting people are able to begin a new path towards healing and freedom that has an effect on all of those around them.
I think the people who support New Life financially are people that I'll never know. I'll never be able to thank them personally for the gift that they gave to us. Their giving saved me, my husband, and our family from being torn apart.
To help hurting people to connect to the help they need, make your gift to the Scholarship Fund at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE and specifying scholarships.
Someone called and sponsored me to come this weekend. Whoever that is, just know that you saved a life. Literally, you saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. I had teased earlier in our program today that we have some exciting news that you can be a part of. We have a matching gift of $385,000. This means that you can double the impact of your giving by helping give. By giving, you help more people. And again, to repeat what I just said, to be redundant, but appropriately redundant.
Worth repeating.
Yes, you can double down. And really, double down means just giving. It's so great to hear how New Life has impacted people. We heard from this woman that says, your response and godly counseling to troubled callers has helped me tremendously in my role as an 83-year-old widow, trying to encourage and guide my 2 adult daughters, my 11 grandchildren, and yes, even my 10 great-grandchildren through many challenges in today's culture when families are really falling apart. And we love to hear that. What we love to hear in that is that an 83-year-old woman is still heavily engaged, guiding and leading and loving her family well, and the privilege to come alongside of her and to help give her support and guidance and wisdom along the way is exactly why we do what we do. But we only get to do what we do because of you, because of your giving and your generosity. So right now, this is a great opportunity to give. We want to hit this $385,000 matching gift, and it is going to be with your help. So go to newlife.com and go online there, and it will show you and guide you on how to do just that. We're going to go back to the phones. We're going to go to Jane in Arlington, Virginia, who connects with us through the internet. Jane, how you doing today?
Hey guys, thank you for taking my call.
No problem. Tell us what's going on.
Well, there's a lot going on, but I'm gonna rephrase my question, because after the last conversation that just happened, I realized that I'm the one who needs help, because we have a 27-year-old that is struggling with alcohol, drugs, and gambling, and you name it. He's a working alcoholic. He works. He pays rent. But it's just like, it breaks my heart to see him destroying his life. He doesn't want the help, so I'm not going to ask what can we do to help him, because he's not open to the help.
Is he living with you?
He's a really... Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm calling, because I see how he's self-destructing. So I've been looking for help for myself, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to watch him do what he does, because he doesn't open up to anybody. He only talks a little bit about his feelings when he's really drunk. But then after he's not drunk, he doesn't remember, or he don't want to talk about it, or he doesn't even want to show his face to us. So we've been struggling with this for 10 years, and we have a 15-year-old son who's been through it with us. He's fine, because I try to do a better job with him. So he knows Jesus, he knows, right and wrong, and he knows that his brother needs more love, like he needs understanding, and that's what we try to give him all the time, and my son knows that. But he doesn't have any meaning in his life. He doesn't want to open up to anything, so it's like we cannot even talk to him. When we try to talk to him, he says, I pay rent, I go to work, so leave me alone.
Yeah. So the question for us today, Jane, is like, what do we now do about this?
Yeah, like I talked to my husband about it over the weekend, because my son relapsed. He was doing great. He stopped going out too much. He stopped drinking and driving, because he already had 2 DUIs.
Oh, wow.
So one,
okay.
He's done.
Yeah. So Jane,
and my husband said that he was gonna have a talk with him, but he said in reality he doesn't want to change, so there's nothing we can do.
Well, I believe there is something we can do, and I think we got a good picture here. But JJ, 27-year-old, struggling deep. It sounds like deep in addiction. Where does Jane go from here?
Yeah, Jane, have you ever been to Al-Anon?
So my husband was in that situation many years ago, so I did go with him. He went through the program, but we didn't keep it up. I went probably once or twice many years ago.
But Al-Anon is a specific group. It's designed for the loved ones of those who are in addiction.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not just like if you're, you may be thinking of if someone goes into a treatment facility and you come for the family weekend kind of thing. Al-Anon is an ongoing group support group for people who have loved ones who are in addiction. And what's great about being a part of that group is that there's a shared language and a shared history. So everybody else in the group understands what you're going through, what you're feeling, while you're watching someone you love make these very self-destructive choices. So you can hear the music. We got to take a quick break, but when we come back on the other side, we'll continue this conversation. But I do believe that that's going to be a key component for you and your husband being able to navigate this relationship.
That's such an important point, JJ, because, addiction, we talk about it often, is a family disease. And what we mean by that is not everyone is addicted, but the impacts of addiction affects everybody. There is a contagion here, and we're going to dive more into that right after this.
5 years ago, I had been in porn addiction, and I'd had a sexual relationship out of marriage.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography. Find help today at New Life's Every Man's Battle Intensive.
That was the first time I'd ever divulged the sin that I had.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
I found a confidential comfort that was able to put a flame to a start of a healing process.
Now the intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, December 6th through the 8th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
Thank you, New Life. They're the redeemed, man. Thank you.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
I'm so thankful because why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch, listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. So glad that you are with us today. We are talking with Jane, whose 27-year-old son is really struggling deep in addiction. Jane, I just have one more follow-up question for you. How is his behavior impacting your household?
It brings a lot of stress and sadness.
Okay, stress and sadness. Okay, so the atmospheric condition of stress and sadness due to his addiction is toxifying your environment. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I think you had the right direction. I think it's not his problem. What's my problem? Your problem is that you have something in your home significantly contributing to the sadness, the overall sadness and stress. And you have to do something about those toxins in your home, because I guarantee you this, your 15-year-old son is being impacted by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes his behavior gets a little out of, of the normal. So I'm attentive to, to watch everything. So I bring him back. But I know that it's impacting his life.
Yeah.
Well, right. And there's an attitude that's correct to a degree of powerlessness. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're powerless to make your 27-year-old get help and change his mind, right? And I heard you say that he pays rent and he has a job. So he's saying, leave me alone. But even people who rent places have to follow certain guidelines in terms of what's allowable on premises, right? And so for you and your husband, part of it is weighing out, because I know as a parent, do I send them out and then I don't know what's happening to them? Or do I keep them here even under these conditions where at least I know when they come home at night, they're safe. And that's a hard one to wrestle with. But at the same time, sometimes we have to try to raise the bottom and make it more uncomfortable for someone to stay in their same old behavior. And you can do that, several different ways. One, I would continue trying to engage him in terms of the fact that, like, all these behaviors have meaning. Something is terribly wrong inside of him. He does not feel good about himself. He does not feel okay as a person. He probably loathes himself with all of this self-destruction and doesn't know how to get out of it. So he's resigned himself to that. So and you said his dad talks to him. So his dad reflecting that back. Son, we are really concerned because this behavior, the meaning we see, follows along these lines. And that makes us really sad for you. It also makes us very stressed and concerned. And then secondly, this behavior has an impact on our household.
Yeah.
Appreciate the rent, but we are really concerned about you because nothing stays the same. And so through Al-Anon, and there are groups that are parent-focused, like, what can you do? You can certainly offer him treatment when he's ready. That, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, we will come alongside you. But what are the things that you do for him, maybe above and beyond, that you could pull back from? Or maybe you say, you know what, we're going to need you to find another place to live because it's creating too much stress in our home.
Yeah.
So you have to decide what you're comfortable with and do the things that you can do.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important, Jane, because I would really recommend that you contact an interventionist. And I know that we have interventionists in our network, and they can really guide you through on what are the proper boundaries, including a potential intervention to get your son the treatment that he needs. But the same principle that we come back to over and over and over again with family and loved ones of people struggling with addiction is just this. I will do anything I can to get you the help that you need, but I will do absolutely nothing to contribute to your self-destruction. And so right now,
I try to.
Oh, go ahead.
I try to do all of that stuff.
Okay.
But the thing is that my husband doesn't support me 100%.
Okay, so you, I think,
was there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I think you and your husband need to get into some couples counseling with an addiction specialist.
Well, and what helped your husband? So he has empathy because he was there.
Yeah.
What helped him turn his life around?
I asked him to show empathy towards him because he gets angry instead of empathy. So I know that we need that, but I also cannot make him because he doesn't believe that he's wrong.
But that's the thing. You and your husband, because there is a profound difference. I know this firsthand. There is a profound difference between being the addicted person and being in relationship with an addicted person. And being an addicted person doesn't help us help being in relationship with an addicted person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You and your husband need some guidance, mostly to stay aligned with each other. Because the more that the family and the couple and the parents are aligned, the less wiggle room the addiction has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear because I've been thinking about it. Like, I've been getting help for myself because I'm the only one who believes that we need help.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of work within me, and my husband knows that. He sees that. But then when I'm like whole and I feel like, okay, I can do this, and I talk to him, I get a wall because he doesn't want to change. There's nothing you can do. He had to want it. He doesn't have a reason why to change. Like, he doesn't love himself.
Yeah, that is a philosophy, and especially people in addiction circles. It's like, yes, they do have to want it, but again, there are some maybe lesser things you can do.
Well, and here's the fallacy of that. There's a crazy fallacy in this. You can want your addiction, but I don't have to want it near me.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I have a want here. I have a desire here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an old adage, right? Everybody knows you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And that's often used in situations like this, like, well, we can't make him change. And I always say that's true. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, but you can make him really thirsty. You can run him around, right? You can make it where he really wants to drink, right? And so in this situation, right, there may be things that you, as Jill was saying, as Chris was saying, you may need to pull back from to increase his thirst, not his thirst for alcohol, but his thirst for recovery, his thirst for change.
Yeah.
And so that's where, again, it's going to really be helpful for you and your husband to be speaking with a therapist who has experience with addiction, not having been an addict himself, but someone who works in the field, who can help navigate you through how do we set boundaries that work for the both of us, because it's our home and we kind of set the rules.
Absolutely. So Jane, we're going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back and a Life Recovery Bible, and both of those being a guidance in your way. But yes, please get into some therapy with an addiction specialist, especially that understands the family role in that and that can guide you and your husband through this really, really challenging situation. Jane, thank you so much for calling in today. JJ, I want to bring up something.
Yes, sir.
We have our final Every Man's Battle of 2024 coming up December 6th. What can guys expect from that experience?
Yeah, December 6th in Dallas, Texas. And what they can expect is, one, they're going to get some great information, and they're going to grow and learn a lot. But really, what they're going to receive the most from the weekend is to be living in a no shame zone, where I can finally be honest about my addiction. Right? You know, it was interesting because in a previous caller, right, Jill was saying, well, yeah, there's all this shame around, there's self-loathing around our addiction. And so it's a place where I can break free from that self-loathing, that shame, be honest about my addiction, and now find hope for healing. It's such an incredible weekend. And yeah, I mean, I hope everybody gets a chance to go.
Absolutely. It is possible to start 2025 in a new direction.
That's right.
I also want to remind people, because there are so many things that we can let get in the way. And one of the primary things that people let get in the way of this new life is money. We do have discounts and scholarships available. You can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to see if that's a possibility for you, but do not let that be a barrier to get to the life transformation that you need in this critical area. We're going to be back right after this.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family, or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step towards genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We're so glad that you're with us today. We are also glad that Avis from Los Angeles, California, listening on KKLA, is with us as well. Avis, welcome to the show. What's going on today?
Well, hello, and what a beautiful day it is.
It is a gorgeous Southern California day today. Yep, absolutely.
Yes, we're blessed.
We certainly are.
I called in to follow up from a previous call.
Okay.
And it's a little delicate because it involves a church situation. And I said the name of the church, and I think I offended some people. And I wanted to apologize for that. It's a sticky wicket. What can I say?
Yes.
But God. I'm sorry. We're in a little bit of pain about it. And I guess that day was a little worse than today, and so I guess I wanted to just say that on the air.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Avis.
To publicly apologize.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Because you know what the problem with churches are, Avis?
Yes, we're all sinners.
Yes.
Yeah.
People like me are in them.
Yeah. Yes.
People just like me are in
yeah. I'm a sinner.
Yes, yeah. But here's the other thing that's remarkable about churches is that these are the opportunities for us to lean into the incredible, life-giving, restorative nature of Christ's forgiveness.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's so important what you've done, Avis, which is that we own our sin. We take responsibility for our choices and the consequences of those choices. And we do whatever we can to make amends, right? Like that's a critical component to restoration of the relationship, right?
Amen.
We're forgiven by God because of Christ's sacrifice on the cross for us. So that's already a done deal. When we ask for forgiveness, He forgives us, right? If we confess our sins, Scripture says He is faithful and just and will cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. That's miraculous. But it doesn't automatically restore the relationship if I've hurt someone by an action, whether I intended to hurt them or I hurt them inadvertently. I still need to do what I can to try and restore that relationship. And that's what you've done today, is to come on air and say, I said the name of the church that hurt some people. I'm so sorry that I did that. And I want them to know that, right? So I'm doing what I can to make amends for my mistake. I can't take it back. I can't not do what I did. But what I can do is say, whatever, moving forward, here's how I'm going to honor the pain that you shared with me, that you're saying that I caused you. I'm going to honor and validate your emotion, and I'm going to own my part in that, and I'm going to apologize for how I've hurt you.
That's really good.
Well, and go ahead.
I'm sorry. I went a step further, and I text my pastor and his wife, and also our women's leader, and just telling them I love them, and we are going to miss them.
That's good.
Because this is painful.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes I think it's a good lesson, Avis, when we are wrestling with issues and sorting them out. We're talking about our feelings. When you call in here, we're just talking to you. We don't realize that there's lots of people listening, and it can feel like, okay, we're just having a little chat. It's like a little therapy session here. And how often have we been talking to a friend and trying to work through something that we're struggling with, and maybe because we trust that friend saying things, and yet not realizing that maybe someone is overhearing the conversation who could be hurt by the conversation, right? I've had that happen before, where the person is standing right there, and some awful things were said. And so it's like, oh, it's okay to wrestle and to struggle, but we need to be aware and be sensitive to those around, because would we want everyone to hear that conversation?
Absolutely.
Right.
And not
because it's been done to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't want to repeat that pain.
That's so good.
Yes.
Avis, that is so good. That really, really is the expression of the heart of Christ. Is that the reason why we don't want to participate in things like slander or gossip or any of these other words, as James tells us, the tongue is a can light a forest,
fire.
Yeah, exactly. And we know we know what destruction fires can do here, especially in California.
Yes,
and so, but you did something I think that really follows along something that I'm trying to teach myself and my family, especially my boys. And we have this acronym OAR. So like if we're going to be in the boat of relationship, we need a good oar. And so the oar keeps us moving forward. And the OAR is when I make a mistake, not if, when. When I say something I should have, when I make a mistake, when I sin against somebody, I want to own it. That's the O. I want to and recognize, hey, I own it. This is mine. This is on me. So one of the things I don't like is when I hear apologies say, I'm sorry if you. No. If you disclaims that, I'm just sorry because I did something. The A is apologize, right? I'm going to own it. I'm going to apologize. And then the R is the repair. I'm going to do, just like you said, JJ, I'm going to do what I can to repair what's going on here in as much as I can, in as much as it wouldn't cause more harm.
Right, because someone was hurt by it.
Yes,
correct? Your struggle is still okay, and you have a right to work that through as best you can. But when people are hurt in the process.
Yeah, that's really good. Avis, thank you so much for calling in, because your call leads the rest of us. It leads the rest of us in acts of courage, in the humility of seeking forgiveness, calling yourself out. I mean, my goodness sakes, friend, you're a great, great leader today, because you're helping us, the rest of us, in real time show what seeking forgiveness and reconciliation
and you've gone
looks
above
like.
and beyond, and now you've done a public apology to make amends.
Absolutely. So we oh, go ahead.
We've been forgiven.
Yes.
That's right.
So God expects us to forgive others.
Yeah.
And it's hard when it's part of a family of God.
Absolutely.
It's hard with anybody, but especially those you love.
Yes.
And you've shared life with. And so we continue to pray for each other.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
Not walk away and say, I'm done with God. That isn't the right attitude.
Yeah.
It's to forgive. And to show God's love.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say 2 Corinthians 5:18 tells us, all this is from God, who reconciled us to himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation.
Wow. There it is.
It's twofold.
Yeah. There it is, JJ. Thank you for that. Avis, thank you so much for calling in today. We're going to send you a copy of Henry Cloud's book, Trust. I think trust is one of those things that is oftentimes misunderstood, oftentimes misused, but Henry gives us great clarity in that book of what it looks like and how we operate out of it and how to repair it when it's broken. And so again, Avis, we thank you so much for calling in today. We thank the rest of you for being a part of our program today. If you would like to give us a call, Okay, Monday through Wednesday, we are in studio. Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. If we have a resource that you want to connect with, that is 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video? And please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.